Good morning, beautiful soul. Before this day begins asking anything of you, before you reach for your phone, before work, responsibilities, and familiar worries fill your mind, I'd like to invite you to experience a different kind of beginning. A beginning that doesn't depend on whether yesterday was a success or a disappointment. It doesn't depend on whether you slept well or woke up feeling tired. And it certainly doesn't depend on whether life feels perfect right now. Because peace has never waited for everything to be perfect. Peace begins the moment you allow your heart to slow down and simply be present. So for the next few minutes, you don't have to rush to become a better version of yourself. You don't have to solve every problem. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. The only thing you need to do is be here. In this morning, in this breath, in this very moment. So many of us believe happiness will finally arrive when we achieve a little more. When our careers become more stable, when our health improves, when we have more financial security, when life finally unfolds exactly the way we imagined. But what if happiness doesn't begin somewhere in the future? What if it has been quietly waiting for you, right here, in this very morning? Your life may not have changed overnight, but you've been given another day to begin again. Another chance to choose how you want to live. Another sunrise, inviting your heart to open once more. Every morning carries a gentle invitation, not to become someone else, but to remember who you've always been. The part of you that still knows how to hope, even after disappointment. The part of you that still knows how to love, even after being hurt. The part of you that quietly kept moving forward, even when no one else could see the battles you were fighting inside. That person is still here. And this morning, we're simply coming home to them. Take a slow, gentle breath. Not to escape your life, but to fully arrive in it. As you breathe in, welcome this new day like a precious gift. As you breathe out, let yesterday become a little lighter. You don't have to carry every old disappointment into a brand new sunrise. Today has never existed before. This is an entirely new day. And perhaps the most beautiful thing you can do right now is begin it with an open heart. Now, gently bring your attention to everything around you. Maybe the soft morning light is streaming through your window. Maybe the air still feels fresh and cool against your skin. Maybe you can hear birds welcoming the new day. Or maybe all you hear is the gentle stillness of the morning. Whatever is here, let it remind you that life never rushes. The sun never hurries to rise. The leaves never force themselves to grow overnight. Everything in nature unfolds in its own perfect time. And that's exactly what makes it so beautiful. Maybe your life can unfold that way too. You don't have to race against anyone. You don't have to compare your journey with someone else's. You don't have to believe you're falling behind. The only thing you need to do is keep growing at your own pace. This morning is offering you more than just another day. It's offering you another opportunity, a chance to think differently, a chance to show yourself a little more kindness, a chance to stop carrying every old story into this present moment. Pause for just a moment and notice something very simple. While you were sleeping last night, your heart kept beating faithfully. Your breath continued flowing in and out with ease. Life was quietly taking care of you in ways you rarely stop to notice. You didn't have to remind your heart to beat. You didn't have to tell your body to keep living. And yet, life stayed faithfully by your side. How often do we spend so much time searching for extraordinary blessings that we forget waking up this morning is already one of them? You're still here. Your story is still unfolding. Your heart is still capable of feeling deeply. Your soul is still capable of healing and growing. And that means today is still filled with possibilities you haven't discovered yet. Maybe the greatest gift this morning isn't something that's waiting to happen later today. Maybe it's this simple realization that right now you already have enough reasons to smile. Instead of asking yourself, what's still missing from my life? Try asking, what has been quietly supporting me all along? You don't need to answer that question right away. Just let it rest gently in your heart. Because the moment your heart begins to notice what it already has, gratitude begins to bloom naturally. And wherever gratitude blooms, hope is never far behind. When we think about gratitude, we usually think about the things we can see. A home, a meal, a steady job, or the visible blessings life has placed in our hands. But some of the most precious gifts you'll ever receive are completely invisible. You can't hold them in your hands, yet they've carried you through some of the hardest seasons of your life. Today, I'd like to invite you to feel grateful for those invisible gifts. Be grateful that hope still lives inside you. Even after the days when you thought you had nothing left to give. Even after the nights when the future felt uncertain. Some quiet part of your heart kept believing that life could become beautiful again. That hope is a tiny flame that never truly went out. Be grateful that you still have the power to choose. You can choose how you respond to life. You can choose forgiveness. You can choose to begin again. You can choose to be gentler with yourself. You may not be able to control everything that happens, but you can always choose the attitude you bring into each new day. And that is one of the greatest forms of freedom you'll ever have. Be grateful that your heart still knows how to love. Maybe it has been broken before. Maybe people have come into your life and then quietly walked away. But your heart never stopped being a heart. It can still be touched by a smile, by a kind word, by a warm embrace, or by a simple moment of peace. That means your heart is still beautifully alive. And be grateful that you're still learning every single day. Every challenge leaves behind a lesson. Every setback teaches you something new about yourself. There are strengths within you that you might never have discovered if life hadn't invited you to to walk through difficult seasons. Maybe you don't have everything you've been hoping for, but you already possess so many things that money could never buy. A soul that still knows how to hope. A heart that still chooses love. A spirit that's still willing to grow. These are priceless gifts. Take a quiet moment to feel them. There's nothing you need to force. Nothing you need to figure out. Simply allow gratitude to move gently through your heart. Because the more you recognize the invisible gifts that have been carrying you, the more you'll realize you've never truly been without what matters most. Perhaps, even now, there are still things in your life that remain unresolved. A worry. A burden you carry quietly. A question that still doesn't have an answer. And that's perfectly okay. No one walks through life without facing difficult roads. But today, I'd like to invite you to see those challenges from a different perspective. What if not every delay is a rejection? What if some closed doors are actually protecting you from a path that was never meant for you? What if the quiet seasons of your life don't mean you've been forgotten, but that something beautiful is quietly being prepared behind the scenes? We only see a small piece of the whole picture. That's why the very thing that disappoints you today may one day become the reason you're most grateful. Think about your own journey. How many times did you believe a difficult season would break you forever? And yet, that very season led you toward a wiser version of yourself. A new opportunity, a healthier relationship, or a deeper sense of peace you never imagined possible. Life rarely takes something away without leaving a lesson behind. And it rarely closes one door without quietly opening another. The question is, are we willing to trust long enough to see that new door appear? Maybe today you don't understand why you're walking this particular path. Maybe you can't yet see the purpose behind what's happening. And that's okay. You don't have to understand everything in order to keep trusting. Sometimes peace begins the moment we let go of our need to have every answer. So gently whisper these words to yourself. I may not see the whole path yet, but I trust that every step is leading me exactly where I need to be. When you become grateful even for the things you don't yet understand, fear slowly begins to make room for faith. Stress begins to soften into peace. And your heart no longer feels like it has to fight against life. Instead, it begins to walk alongside life. Because sometimes the miracle doesn't happen when every problem disappears. Sometimes the miracle happens the moment your heart becomes peaceful enough to trust that everything will arrive at exactly the right time. There's something we so often forget to appreciate. Ourselves. Not because we're perfect. Not because we've accomplished everything we've ever dreamed of. But because we're still growing. Take a moment to think about the person you were just a year ago. Maybe you worried more than you do now. Maybe you were more easily hurt. Maybe you questioned your own worth more often. There were moments when sadness felt so overwhelming that you wondered if you'd ever make it through. There were losses that made your heart believe it would never fully heal. And yet, here you are. You may still carry a few scars, but those scars have taught you how to love yourself a little more deeply. You're no longer the same person you were yesterday. You've learned how to let go of the things you can't control. You've learned that not everyone is meant to stay forever. And you've learned that your worth has never depended on whether someone else could see it. Every experience has quietly shaped the person you are today. Some lessons were painful, but without them, you might never have discovered the strength that has always been living inside you. Be grateful for your resilience. Be grateful for every time you chose to stand back up after falling. Be grateful for every smile you found, even when your heart felt tired. Be grateful for the difficult decisions you had the courage to make. No one truly knows how much you've had to overcome. No one has witnessed every battle you've fought inside your own mind. But you know, and that's enough. Today, instead of focusing only on the distance between where you are and where you want to be, look back at how far you've already come. Maybe you haven't reached your destination yet, but you've traveled so much farther than where you first began. Every step matters, no matter how small. Every quiet change matters, no matter how slow. Because each one is proof that you're moving forward. So gently place a hand over your heart and quietly say to yourself, thank you for never giving up. Thank you for continuing to believe. Thank you for showing up, even on the days that felt the hardest. Oh. You don't have to become someone else to deserve love. The person you are right now is already enough. And from that place of acceptance, true healing begins. There is a very special kind of gratitude. It's the kind of gratitude you feel for the blessings your eyes haven't seen yet. At first, that might sound a little strange. How can we be grateful for something that hasn't happened? But think about it for a moment. Every beautiful thing that's ever entered your life was once something you couldn't see. There were people who were once complete strangers. There were opportunities that didn't exist yet. There were peaceful days you once believed would never come. And yet, somehow, they found their way to you. Not because you knew exactly when they would arrive, but because life never stops moving, even when you can't see it. Today, allow yourself to open your heart to what's still on its way. Be grateful for the doors that are quietly opening, even if you can't see them yet. Be grateful for the people you'll meet who will encourage you exactly when you need it most. Be grateful for the fresh ideas that will arrive at just the right moment. Be grateful for the opportunities that are gently making their way toward your life. Be grateful for the healing that's taking place within your body each day. Be grateful for the peace that's growing within your heart. Be grateful for the confidence that's being built through every experience. Maybe today isn't the day when everything suddenly becomes perfect. But today could be the day you plant the very first seeds of a brighter future. Always remember this. Your future doesn't begin tomorrow. It begins with the thoughts you choose in this very moment. If you choose hope today, you're building a hopeful future. If you choose peace today, you're creating a peaceful life. If you choose gratitude today, you're opening your heart to receive even more blessings. You don't have to know exactly what's waiting ahead. You only need to trust that life is quietly working in your favor. There are seeds already growing beneath the soil, even though you can't see them yet. There are flowers preparing to bloom in their perfect season. And there are beautiful blessings slowly making their way toward you in silence. So this morning, gently whisper to life with all the faith in your heart. Thank you for the beautiful things that are already on their way. Thank you for the doors I cannot see yet. Thank you for every blessing that will arrive at exactly the right time. When you become grateful for your future before it even arrives, you stop living in constant waiting. You begin living with trust. And that trust becomes the quiet light guiding every step you take today. Now, allow these gentle words to settle into your heart. You don't have to force yourself to believe them right away. Simply listen. Simply allow each sentence to become a small seed being planted deep within your soul. And with time, those seeds will grow into peace, confidence, and quiet strength. If you'd like, softly repeat these words in your heart or speak them out loud. Today, I choose to begin with gratitude. I am grateful to be here, alive, and welcomed into a brand new day. I welcome today with an open heart. I don't need to have all the answers. I only need the courage to take the next step with trust. Today, I choose to notice the goodness that's already around me. Even the smallest moments can bring the greatest joy. I already have enough to begin. Every breath, every heartbeat, every new opportunity is a beautiful gift. I am grateful for the person I am. I no longer compare my journey with anyone else's. I honor my own pace of growth. Each day, I become a little more peaceful. Not because life becomes easier, but because my heart is becoming stronger. I trust that life is quietly working in my favor. Even when I cannot see the whole path ahead. I believe I'm being guided exactly where I need to go. I open my heart to new opportunities. I welcome kind people into my life. I welcome unexpected blessings with gratitude. I deserve peace. I deserve love. deserve abundance. Not because I'm perfect, but because I am enough. Today, I walk through this day with a grateful heart. And I trust that every peaceful step I take is leading me towards something beautiful. Take one slow breath and allow these affirmations to become part of who you are. Not just words you remember, but a new way of living. A life that begins with gratitude and grows through trust. Now, let go of the need to think. Let go of the need to figure everything out. Simply breathe, slowly, gently, and naturally. Allow each breath to guide you back to the quiet place within. As you breathe in, welcome peace. As you breathe out, release every burden you've been carrying. Breathe in, trust. Breathe out, doubt. Breathe in, gratitude. Breathe out, the feeling of not having enough. Breathe in, love. Breathe out every lingering hurt. Breathe in, gentleness. Breathe out every harsh judgment you've placed upon yourself. Breathe in, light. Breathe out, fear. Now let your heart quietly whisper these words. I am peaceful. I am grateful. I am deeply loved. I am supported by life. I am always being guided. I open my heart to every beautiful blessing. Peace is growing within me. Abundance is finding its way to me. Hope is blooming in my heart. Each new day brings new possibilities. I don't have to force life to unfold. I choose to trust the perfect timing of every blessing. Feel each sentence ripple gently through your entire body. There's nowhere you need to rush. There's nothing you need to prove. Right here, in this very moment, you are enough. You are surrounded by life. You've been given another day to love, to grow, and to receive. Num, num, num. Let gratitude become the very first heartbeat of your morning. Let trust become your quiet companion throughout the day. And let peace become the place your heart can always return to, no matter what the world around you looks like. Before we bring this morning meditation to a close, I'd like to share one final gift with you. It's not something I can give you, and it's not something you need to search for anywhere else, because this gift has always been within you. Somewhere along the way, life simply became so busy that you forgot how to see it. We spend so much of our time thinking about what's missing, about what we haven't achieved yet, about what someone else has that we wish we had too. And in doing so, we often overlook the quiet blessings that have been surrounding us all along. But today, you chose something different. You chose to pause. You chose to listen. You chose to care for your own heart. And that alone is a beautiful choice. Maybe true richness isn't about having more. Maybe it's about seeing more, seeing love in ordinary moments, seeing hope even when the road ahead isn't completely clear, seeing light even if it's only a tiny ray breaking through the clouds. Life always offers us two ways of looking at it. We can see it through the eyes of scarcity, or we can see it through the eyes of gratitude. When we look through the eyes of scarcity, we'll always feel like we're not enough, not successful enough, not loved enough, not happy enough. But when we look through the eyes of gratitude, we begin to realize how much life has already placed into our hands. Some blessings become so familiar that we forget they're blessings at all. A peaceful breath, someone who's still by your side, a quiet morning, a heart that still knows how to feel, another chance to begin again. Perhaps this is what true abundance really is. Not having more than everyone else, but appreciating more of what you already have. Always remember this. Life doesn't always change the moment you want it to, but your heart can change right here, right now. And when your heart changes, the world you see begins to change with it. So today, don't just look for more things to be grateful for. Allow gratitude itself to become the way you see your life. When that happens, you'll discover that blessings were never far away. They've been quietly waiting for your heart to notice them. Now, take one more slow, gentle breath and slowly let it go. If it feels right, place one hand over your heart. Feel each steady heartbeat beneath your hand. That heart has been with you through joyful seasons, through disappointments, through the moments when you weren't sure you were strong enough to keep going. Yet it never gave up on you. And just like your heart, life has been quietly supporting you in ways you may not have noticed yet. Take a moment now to thank yourself. Thank yourself for choosing to pause today, for choosing to listen, for choosing to care for your soul before stepping into the rest of your day. That isn't a small thing, because every time you return to the peace within yourself, you're creating a meaningful change in your life. When this meditation comes to an end, your responsibilities will still be waiting for you. There may still be challenges ahead. There will still be plans to make and work to do. But I hope you'll carry something different with you today. A lighter heart, a calmer mind, and a quiet confidence that no matter what today brings, you can always choose gratitude. When something beautiful happens, quietly say, "Thank you." When you make it through a challenge, whisper, "Thank you." Even when life doesn't unfold exactly the way you hoped, you can still softly say, "Thank you," because I trust that life is leading me towards something even better. Don't wait until everything becomes perfect before you choose gratitude. Because gratitude is what transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. And it turns ordinary days into meaningful memories. Before we say goodbye this morning, I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Every sunrise gives you more than just another day. It gives you another opportunity to love more deeply, to forgive more freely, to hope more courageously, and to live more fully. Step into this new day with an open heart. Smile gently at life. Trust your journey. And never forget, you don't need a perfect life to become a deeply happy person. You simply need a peaceful heart that's willing to recognize that right here, in this very moment, you already have so much to be grateful for. Thank you for giving these moments to yourself today. May your day be filled with peace, hope, and beautiful blessings. And always remember, the more grateful your heart becomes, the more reasons life will gently give you to keep saying thank you.